This Good Morning Northwest morning sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
All right, it is 6:53. Time to get you ready to take on your Tuesday here in the morning sprint.
Olivia Roberts has an update on heat-related power outages happening today.
Yeah, but first, let's go to Mark Peterson tracking the peak of this dangerous heat.
Oh, just talking about the heat. First Alert Weather and that weather app free and available to you in the App Store. It'll give you hourly temperatures. You know when best to get out. For this morning, 83 heading out the door, 104 at lunchtime. Dinner time's going to be 111, so be prepared. Statewide, we're going to be at 110, 108 down in Pullman, and 116 into Moses Lake. Tomorrow, a touch cooler. Still extremely hot. Use caution when you're heading outdoors. Please, please be careful.
The historic heat is expanding gaps in Washington's roads and streets, even closing lanes of traffic. People in Puget Sound told KOMO News it's shocking seeing heat damaging our highways. In the last 48 hours, Washington State DOT responded to at least 8 major instances of heat-related damages. WSDOT says it's only funded about half of what they need to keep roads in good repair, which they think could have prevented the problems we're seeing this week. Also saying road surface temperatures are exceeding 120 degrees.
We want to remind you there are places all over the inland Northwest you can go if you need a place to cool down. The city set up several daytime cooling centers, including one at the Louvre Carousel in Riverfront Park. Catholic Charities has opened several cooling sites. You can cool off in libraries as well. Yesterday, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward tweeted that the city cooling centers will stay open an additional hour until 8 p.m. through this weekend. The city says it can serve up to 1,000 people if needed throughout this heat wave. You can get the most up-to-date information on the list of operational cooling centers on our website at KXLY.com.
Spokane City pools are not an option to cool down yet. They won't be open until after the heat wave is passed. City pools do not open until July 5th. Right now, City is planning for 50% capacity, but with the state reopening, that could change before the doors even open. County aquatic centers, though, opened yesterday.
As we hit peak triple-digit temperatures today, fans and air conditioners in more than 6,000 homes and businesses around Spokane will shut off. Avista Utilities says an influx in power usage across several Spokane neighborhoods is forcing them to cut power to thousands of customers. The company says it had to quickly make the adjustment to protect Spokane's electric grid. Now, if you live in North Spokane or West South Hill, you may have experienced outages at some point yesterday, and Avista says you should expect the same today. Now, these planned outages will happen between 1 and 8 p.m. and they should last about an hour. Some people who experienced the outages yesterday say they didn't have time to prepare, but that won't be the case today. Avista says you'll be notified sometime this morning before your power is shut off.
Those power outages yesterday were more than inconvenient for residents in North and South Spokane. But now that we know when it's going to happen, Avista Utilities has some tips to help you prepare. This is what to prepare for before an outage happens. Make sure you have emergency supplies all in one place and know how to operate things like your garage door manually. Use surge protectors for your sensitive electronic devices, and it's a good idea to have an extra set of batteries for your fire alarm and a flashlight. When a power outage is happening, turn off the appliances that might have been turned on and unplug your electronics. Leave a porch light on so Avista crews know when the power is back on. Keep your refrigerator and freezer doors closed to avoid food spoilage, and use a flashlight instead of candles when it's too dark to see.
Well, tomorrow, for the first time in 16 months, Washington will be fully open for business. Governor Inslee is planning visits to Spokane, Tacoma, and Seattle to celebrate. This means businesses can move to full capacity, including restaurants, movie theaters, and sporting events. Businesses can still set their own guidelines, though, and keep their capacity down if they choose to do so. They can also still ask you to wear a mask and can ask you for proof of vaccination.
Even though it's been days since the collapse, crews in Surfside, Florida are committed to searching for survivors. So far, we know 11 people have been confirmed dead. 150 people are still considered missing. Crews hope there are pockets of air beneath the sheets of concrete that could hold survivors. No survivors have been found in the rubble since Thursday. Federal authorities say they are now looking for points of weaknesses in the building to figure out what exactly caused that catastrophe.
All right, coming up next on Good Morning America, so many teenagers across the country are looking for summer jobs right now as the economy starts to bounce back from the pandemic. GMA has details about who's hiring and how you can stand out. All right, we know you've been dealing with these super hot temperatures. We'll be right back with a final check of the weather with our Mark Peterson coming up right after this. Don't go away.